Today I'm going to be talking about the middle class. Most people before the Reconstruction worked jobs for low wages, usually in factories or sweatshops. They would come home to an unsanitary and very crowded home, but with the new era of industry coming up, that would change for a lot of people. As these big factories and companies started to grow, they required a lot more workers for the many new jobs that were opening up, including managers, secretaries, and etc. With the new jobs coming up that were open to both men and women is what gave life to the new growth of the middle class, who were educated office workers who would usually spend the surplus of their money on a variety of goods and other activities. The boom of the Reconstruction era also produced immense wealth for the fortunate people who took advantage of their own intelligence and the government's laissez-faire policies to become titans of the industry. By 1890, 1% of the population controlled 25% of the wealth in the United States. Educated men and women entered the working world as managers and clerical workers. Companies generally reserved these choice positions for white, native-born employees. Women's smaller hands were more ideal for operating typewriters and telephone switchboards, and their smaller paychecks saved employers money because they were paid about 1/3 to 1/2 of what men were paid. Even through all of that, women found new levels of freedom and independence as they made money. As the members of the middle class made more money, they became more eager to spend it as well, mainly on different material comforts and leisure activities. The women of the middle class would buy clothing at stores that was already made, as well as household goods, while past women would have had to make these objects at home with the different items that they bought. With the more amount of money that they made came more free time as well. With this new free time, families could enjoy the company of each other instead of constantly working and stressing about getting by. They would enjoy their time together by attending different sporting events, going to amusement parks, circuses, or even the theater. The middle class figured out very quickly that they wanted to purchase lots of goods and have fun with their money. Through all of this, you may be asking, who even is the middle class, or who makes up the middle class? There are many ways that the middle class can be defined, but from my research, I would say that the middle class can be defined as those whose annual household income is between $45,000 to $135,000, or if you're living by yourself, then your salary would be around $26,000 to $78,000. According to these income rates, about 52% of American adults are in the middle class, making it the more dominant class when speaking about the population. While all this was happening, this was the same time that the Reconstruction Amendments were being passed as well. I believe that the passing of these Reconstruction Amendments did have an effect on the middle class, and I think this is because as the slaves were being freed, they couldn't just live off the land. They had to get a job. They had to make a living by getting money to keep on getting by. So as these recently freed slaves were getting jobs and making their own money, they were taking the jobs and potential money of the other people. Eventually, with the passing of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, African Americans became a natural part of society and joined the working class just like anyone else, although they still would be discriminated against by being denied education as well as their wages, which I believe was denying their living. Thank you for watching.